Well, joining me now for more discussions on Nigeria's gains at the UN General Assembly is the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Protocol, Mr. Dimola Oshodi. Good to have you on the news at this time. So let's begin with these key points in the President Tinubu's message, which was advocating for a permanent seat for Nigeria and other African nations on the UN Security Council. Tell us what strategic steps that has been taken now, that the presidency is taking rather, to make this a reality.
Thank you. The most important step the president and Nigeria is taking is to actually advocate the importance of Nigeria being on that table. They say that if you're not on the table, then you're on the menu. We need to be on the table. There are things happening around the world that is affecting Nigeria and in Africa in general. Climate change, the industrialized West, the global North is, the manufacturing industry for the past hundreds of years has affected the climate situation around the world. There's flooding like we experience in Borno State. There's issues of erosion. There's, of course, the security dimension to climate change. People migrating from one end of the country or the continent to another. Stress and tension with existing people in that new location. So Nigeria being on the table as a permanent member will be able to advocate this for the country, which has about 200 million people, for the subcontinent, and generally for Africa. And I could say also for the black race. Nigeria is a natural leader for Africa. We have the largest population. We have a very, very strong economy. And we also have a dynamic set of people that have made strides around the world. So Nigeria playing a big role with the United Nations, with providing peacekeeping over 60 years of its existence or more. It's definitely a leader in Africa. There's no disputing that. It's now to ensure that leadership role is entrenched in the UN Charter as a permanent member with veto powers. It's just a natural course of events. I could also say that all the countries in the world have also developed to meaningful positions, like Germany, Japan, India, and Brazil, that also are eligible for that position.
That being said, away from that, let's look at the president's message also calling for a renewed financial architecture and debt forgiveness for developing countries. Talk to us now on what steps has been taken now to achieve these proposals.
Well, Nigeria has, the president has taken huge steps towards that by speaking directly to the Security Council and the global North. The developing South have picked up a lot of debt as we try to restructure our economy, deal with issues of security, and deal with definitely the issue of climate change. The global North have seen that, and they've seen that's the reason why Africa, Nigeria being stable, is also affects their stability, their security. If we don't have a secure country or secure subcontinent, it would affect the West. They'll have migration to their shores in the Mediterranean. They will have militants, in the Sahel, parts of West Africa, fighting with the ideological, religious tendency that they threaten the well-being of the West. So the West has seen the fact that it's inherent, it's intertwined, that providing debt relief with reforms, it's a way of stabilizing the country, the continent, for their own interest also. Because I do tell you, it's not done without a quid pro quo, ensuring that everybody's interest is protected. So it is a win-win for everybody. And I do believe the Bretton Woods system has recognized that, and they have taken steps to provide debt relief, definitely very cheap loans. And if they don't do that, I dare to say that the Chinese are available to provide these cheap loans for the developing world. So
right.
go ahead.
Right. Let me quickly bring up this last aspect now, where the president also laid out an ambitious vision for tackling global challenges like terrorism and, of course, food crisis, which remains an issue. Well, how does the presidency now plan to, well, handle this issue, or rather translate this high-level commitments now into tangible actions at home, particularly looking at the fight against terrorism and, of course, poverty?
Yes, it's really the one of the biggest concerns. Security of any country, of any part of the world, is vital to the existence of that state and the well-being of its citizen. The president's speech through the vice president Shetima laid out issues that of fighting security concerns in Sahel, in Sudan, where there's a raging civil war that a lot of people have forgotten. That people are more concerned about issues in the Middle East and other places, but the issues in Sudan, the civil war has killed far more people, affected more lives than any other conflict in existence right now in the world. We have also in the Sahel of West Africa, we have a belt of military rulers that have usurped democracy. All this in many ways affects Nigeria. So there's this inextricable link of regional instability of Nigeria that politically and economically provides it risks our own stability. So this is all intertwined. So the terrorism for either the Boko Haram or anybody, of militants coming across the border with Libyan weapons is a huge effect on the sub-region of West Africa. ECOWAS is taking a big step towards that. The vice president laid that clearly at the United Nations Security at the conference. And this is the key to our security as well as the security of our partners in West Africa and in the West, the global north.
Right. Well, so I have to leave it for now. Thank you so much, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Protocol, Ademola Oshodi. We appreciate your insights on the news.